I'll tell you, you had a good first half. What the hell happened? Hello and welcome to this very early morning and potentially ASMR version, as it's literally about 6 in the morning on Wednesday. I don't know what the date is. Anyways, welcome to NRL tips and predictions, round 9. One round away from Magic Round, where magic happens. But obviously there's going to be a lot of interesting games on this week, so let's see how we think they'll go. Starting off with the opening game on Thursday, which is tomorrow actually, when this video does come out. And today, because I just realised I'm recording on a Wednesday. It's early in the morning, I'm not a morning person, blow me. It's the Cronulla Sharks up against the North Queensland Cowboys. Obviously, first time the two teams have met since the qualifying final last year. Both teams are currently on either end of the table. You've got the Cronulla Sharks, who are coming off a solid win, to say the least, against the Bulldogs. Except, Ronaldo Mulitalo plomping his hand down. He basically did what that Warriors player did against the Knights, except he actually put his hand on the line before he put the ball down. And the North Queensland Cowboys are coming off a close win against the Knights, but I do think it was actually a very good win for them, because the Knights have actually been having some decent form, but were able to scrape over. Looking into this game, obviously the Cowboys did beat them in the the qualifying final, but the Sharks have been playing some very good football at the moment. Yes, the Cowboys did get the win last week, but I just feel Sharks are a different beast, Nico Hines, he really wants to play for the Blues, so going to be a bit of a showcase for my field in this game, and I'm going to tip the Sharks to win this. I feel it's hard to say. I mean, the Cowboys can make this competitive, but I think the Sharks have got it. Now we go into the first game on Friday, and it is the Parramatta Eels up against the Newcastle Knights. So obviously, the Parramatta Eels are coming off a sweaty game against the Broncos up in Darwin. The Broncos were able to get the win out of that. And like I said in the last game, the Knights are coming off a very close loss against the Cowboys. It's weird to say both teams are very close on the ladder. Eels are 13th and the Knights are 12th. It's just, I don't know, I feel like Parramatta are starting to hit their stride a little bit so far over the last couple of games. Yes, they did lose to Brisbane, but now the Knights are starting to falter a tiny bit. It's now the effect of Jaden Brayley not being in the squad is now starting to take effect. And because of that, obviously being in Parramatta, and Parramatta usually go very well against the Knights in the regular season and most of the finals, well, apart from grand final. That's not the first time that joke's been made. I do think Parramatta should be able to take this game out. I hope not, because it'd be funny if they didn't, but I do think in a reasonable world, the Parramatta Eels should win this game. Now we go to 8 p.m. on a Friday, and this is probably one of the biggest games of the season, actually. First versus fourth. It is the Brisbane Broncos up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Obviously, Brisbane got another win. They still have only lost one match so far this season. And obviously, South Sydney are coming off a very good run, which did feature last week when they beat the Penrith Panthers. Finally, they got over that hump. But betting market is having it very even. It's literally split $1.90. This is going to be an absolute showcase of match. I mean, in fairness, the whole last round was all very close. Like, only one game ended over 13 plus. So, I don't know what's going to happen here, but here's the thing. Over the last 3 weeks, I have tipped against South Sydney, and they have won those games. So I'm going to put a test to this, and I'm going to bring in the shoe-in of the week. The shoe-in of the week prediction for round 9 is South Sydney will beat the Brisbane Broncos. There you go. I mean, yes, the shoe did get it wrong last week, but hell, I don't think anyone predicted at 28 minutes gone that that would happen. But, I mean, it has happened a couple of times at the time, so maybe we should have. Who knows? But, yeah, shoe-in of the week, Bunnies to beat Brisbane. Up at Suncorp, should be a hell of a match. Now we go to the first game on Saturday, and it is the Canberra Raiders taking on the Redcliffe Dolphins out at Wagga, which is going to be interesting, out in the sticks. But obviously both teams played in round 2. Yeah, they played in round 2. Very close game, and the Dolphins were able to scrap the win out of that. So it'll be interesting to see if the Raiders can get some form of revenge. The Raiders are coming off the bye from last week when obviously the Dolphins, you know, made arguably one of the, it's not even arguably, one of the best comebacks in the NRL era of rugby league. Like, kind of nuts to say the very least. But interestingly though, Canberra are the favourites in this game, and I can kind of understand why, but I don't know, it's like, I don't know if the Dolphins have any more really of injuries, but I don't know, I don't really understand why it's such a favoured towards Canberra. But in being said, I actually think the Dolphins can actually take this game. Just think the momentum's going off. Yes, Canberra got the bye, but I just think the Dolphins are going to decide to get all their players back, and they should just continue on the form from last week. I mean, they can beat anybody now when it comes to like a result like last week. So yeah, we'll have the Dolphins in that game. Now we go to the 5:30 game on Saturday, and it is the Manly Seagulls up against the Gold Coast Titans. Manly are second. Manly are very good. I don't know what that means for rugby league, but Manly are very good now. They're second place. They galvanised. I mean, it was still a relatively close game last week for them against a Tigers team who have still not won a game yet. But though they are trying, it's not like they're just giving up. They're actually trying on the Tigers. And they're taking on the Gold Coast Titans, who are obviously kind of besides from the Tigers, are kind of being the kicking bag because of what happened last week. But the way it's going at the moment, I mean, with Manly, they're at home, team's fresh, team's playing brilliantly. It's hard to say. Like, I like to think the Titans do have some form of a chance, but I mean, it's up against Manly. Manly are going to get the win here. Now we're going to the final game on Saturday, and it is out in Bathurst, Carrington Park, and you'll have the Penrith Panthers taking on the West Tigers. I'm not going to say the Tigers are going to win this game. No, I'm not doing that at all. I do think this is going to be kind of like the Manly game. I think it's going to be a lot closer, relatively closer. I'm not going to say like against the Knights. For Penrith, I don't think it's going to go down to Golden Point or anything, but I do think it'll be a closer game than people will probably project it to be. I'm still going to have Penrith winning, but I mean, the Tigers team they're going okay, and to be completely honest, I don't think Penrith have been that great this year. Like, they didn't play that well against the Knights. They did play all right against Souths, but I mean, Souths were able to edge it out. But I feel like the Panthers do kind of need this result, you know, just a tune-up game to kick the shit out of an unfortunate soul, and that being the West Tigers. So, yeah, we're going to do that and say Penrith will win. But like I said, the Tigers have a fighting chance. Imagine the scenes if the Tigers were to actually beat Penrith in that game. I am not touching wood at all. Now we go into the first game on the Sunday, and it is actually a game that's already happened this year, but it's also another tasty one. It is the New Zealand Warriors up against the Sydney Roosters. Now, both teams did play yesterday in Anzac Day. The Warriors just coming up short against the Storm. The Warriors still played very well. They're just showing consistently. They've probably got the most heart out of any team. And the Roosters did just snake a win against St. George. Very, very close by 1 point. I wonder if Victor Radley will get another sim bin. It's like, I think Victor Radley could touch grass and get a sim bin at this point. It's starting to actually get a bit ridiculous. Warriors are in 7th. Roosters are in 9th. It is in New Zealand. We need to take that into account. And it was still relatively close when these two teams played at Allianz. That being said, just kind of figure, I think teams should be all right. But I don't know if Radley's going to get suspended or anything, but I mean, maybe, I don't know. But I think the Warriors can win. I think the Warriors can actually win this game. Now we go into the final game of round number 9, the final game before Magic Round in Brisbane, and it is the St. George Illawarra Dragons up against the Canterbury Bulldogs. Obviously, the Dragons were actually put up a very decent showing against the Roosters. In fairness, in turn 2, the Radley sim bin made a very close, lost by a point. And the Bulldogs actually looked all right against the Sharks. It's just the Sharks were able to just be too good enough and run away with it. 14th versus 16th, it's kind of a weird battle this match. It's kind of a little bit of the outliers, if you will, of the Sydney clubs at the moment. But I feel like with the way things are going at the moment, it's like, I don't know, it's like I can't really trust St. George to win this. Like, but then again, it's like I don't really trust the Bulldogs to win this. The duality. But if I was to take a pick, I might have to go with the Dragons. Sure. Probably just a win take with the injury count, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They played very well against a team that's in the finals race. Could that team get the win against the Dragons? I don't know. This is a very hard game to predict, but I'm just going to say the Dragons just cause. Anyways, that is going to be the end of the predictions video there. Who do you guys have in this round? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. And next week, it's Magic Round. Woo! It's literally 6:15 in the morning. I don't want to be alive.